back on it. Gift Smith is now the head coach. JoJo Wooden. They made
Is it GIF or GIF? People are want to know.
It's Gift Smith.
Okay, people are making jokes. It might be GIF.
Oh, really?
I don't know. You're not paying attention on social media. I don't blame
No,
you.
hell, I didn't pay attention to social media all weekend. No. I told you if I was gonna get away, I was gonna get away. But definitely, it's Gift Smith, JoJo Wooden. They already made their first move. They got Will Greer out of the Patriots practice squad. They signed him to their actual squad. So I was very surprised by that. I know he was with the Cowboys for a bit. So and then they released Max
Duggan.
Duggan. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It's supposed to be Easton speaking to us this week, but there must have been a reason why they brought in Will Greer.
Gonna say you're gonna start Will Greer. He had a nice little preseason, but at this point, who cares, right? Who doesn't matter who plays. Just kind of just end the year 3-game losing streak and then get a better draft pick.
I mean, I think if and that's the thing. I think if you ask Charger fans, oh god,
You got comments already? Yeah, don't
yeah,
be shy. Drop comments if you want.
At the year's ready. Yeah. Jump
Okay.
in the
Now we can
comments.
start. We can start.
I think that's what Charger fans kind of want, though. I think they want that higher draft pick. I'm sure they want it ready for some coach. I did actually see some fans are like, I hope they get a GM that will trade down. So that was pretty interesting. I'm like, damn, you guys are already telling the future GM what to do. Like, so that was pretty
It's gonna
interesting.
be different though, regardless. Like the Chargers fans have been used to one way of operation for about 11 years. It's gonna be different.
Well, yeah, because it's all been, I mean, except for 2022 when they traded for Khalil Mack and signed JC Jackson. Other than that, there wasn't a lot of movement in the draft or in the free agency other than like a couple of years. I mean, I thought a couple of years ago they had a pretty solid 2021 when Brandon Staley first got here because it was Corey Linsley. I know Matt Filer, obviously, he had an up and down, but at the beginning, I thought he was actually pretty good. But definitely going to be interesting to see kind of what direction the Spanos family decide to move. I mean, I know there's a lot of rumors. I've seen people have wish lists on who they want. I mean, I did log on actually I did watch games on Saturday. I did see that fans were really excited about Ben Johnson and what his offense did
Oh, yeah. That was a good game.
To
The
the
Broncos.
Denver Broncos. But I mean, there's a lot of different things that they need to evaluate. Obviously, the Spanos family on who they want as their next GM and their next head coach, because there's a lot of names out there. There's potentially two names that separate themselves from everybody else, but it's going to be about what they think. And like I told you guys on the live on Friday, it's going to be about what's best for Justin Herbert moving forward. Who gives them the best chance with Justin Herbert to win? So that's going to be what John and Dean are going to have to sit down and evaluate. But like I told you guys, I was surprised that Tom Telesco was let go at the same time as Brandon Staley, because I thought, oh, they'll just give Tom till the end of the year, and then because of 11 years of service, and they'll let him go. But then when you think about it, yeah, it's a package deal. Both of them needed to go, and now they get a jump start on who their next general manager is going to be, who their next head coach is going to be. So yeah, a lot really to unravel there. And like I said, Tuesday is going to be the first time we talked to Gift Smith since taking over the job. So I'm telling you, I got the email and it said we're talking to Gift Smith and then Easton Stick, and I was like, damn, like to not see head coach Brandon Staley and quarterback Justin Herbert, it still feels a little bit weird. But
Times have definitely changed, and you mentioning that people are watching like Ben Johnson games. Like remember when we were all watching Brian Dable games, thinking it's gonna be Brian,
oh my god, yeah, I
the
remember
Bills
that.
coordinator at the
You
time.
and I would be texting each other like, so what do you think? Yeah, I mean, they're good. This, that. Hey, if the Bills make the playoffs, Brady's name is going to be not Tom Brady for all you people out there.
Joe
Brady's
Brady.
name is Joe Brady's going to be. He was interviewed in 2021 by the
Yeah, I
Chargers
think he
and
was.
several other teams. So if they make the playoffs, I think people are going to be looking at Joe Brady again for a head coaching
Yeah,
gig.
it just shows you how surroundings really matter because he stunk it up with the Panthers when he had kind of a crappy roster. Now gets an opportunity with the Bills, and they're clicking. They're actually much better.
All right, Athir. Okay, I'm gonna freaking Yeah, you told me so. What did I tell you? Who could Gilbert? Would you have predicted that the Raiders would beat them 63-21?
No, yeah,
Nobody would
I
have thought
picked the
that was going
Raiders
to
to win,
happen.
but not that bad.
Exactly. So that's what sped up everything. Them losing because I think Schefter said on the Pat McAfee show that they had already considered it twice. I think after Green Bay and after Baltimore, and they did it after this one. This one was an annihilation. Obviously, they were going to do it. So yeah,
Is
you
is
told
that
me,
you're
but
saying that he's right about the in-season firing? Is that what he's
yeah,
trying to
you're
claim
saying
now?
that
Okay.
he's right about the in-season firing,
Yeah.
but I'm kind of like, well, nobody knew that was going to
Yeah.
happen. But
That it was one of those like, okay, you can't mess around and give people time for the
yeah,
rest of the
so
year.
I'll give him that. Of the year, I'll give it to you. Whatever. I said if it was gonna happen, it was gonna happen after the season. It happened in season, but you were kind of at the point of no return. So I mean, what do you want from me? Jalen Hurts will play tonight,
Oh,
according to Ian Rappaport and Mike Garafolo. So
they need that
uh,
win tonight because the
they
Cowboys
really
lost.
do need that win, especially with the Cowboys losing to the Bills, which we'll get into. What's up? What's up, bro? Other than the Chargers sucking, tank or just play like you're playing. I don't think they have to tank, Robert. Like,
Yeah.
I think they just stick the course and the way they're going, and I'm sure they'll get a high draft pick.
A lot of teams lost that they needed to win this weekend because they
Yeah,
kind of fell, right?
yeah.
They're like number 8 or 9 right now in the
They're
draft
8 right
order.
now. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
because
they
they were
needed like the Giants to win one. They needed the Commanders to win one.
yeah,
But
the
like
Bears.
if you look at all those other schedules though, it feels like each one of those teams might win one more game. Their Chargers
Yeah, yeah.
win was going to be the Raiders. If not, that's it.
What's the final 3 for the Chargers, Chiefs, Bills, and one more? Broncos, right?
At Denver.
Yeah, easy losses
Yeah.
for sure. So
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
good.
Second, Spanos is not playing games anymore. He will get Harbaugh or Ben Johnson and a great GM.
Oh yeah. All of a sudden, not playing games, huh, at the year?
Yeah, I don't know about this one. We'll
He's
see
not
at the
new
year.
as an owner, you know.
Yeah, like this is he's hired a couple of head coaches before, and
3
they
first
haven't all
timers
come.
the last 11 years, right?
Yeah, first timers the last three, then Norval Turner, and then Marty Schottenheimer before that. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. Okay, that last one I can't put up there with here. I'm not gonna tell somebody else how to run their team. Chargers need a culture changing coach and GM. No, and that's exactly
Yeah.
Young West. Thank you so much for your comment. That's exactly what Gilbert and I said on the live with Dan and Dago on Fridays, that they need somebody who's going to change the culture. I mean, that's something that they haven't had in years. I feel like, I mean, I've heard things from being around these guys for so long. Norv was kind of passive. I think Anthony was that was a little bit more of a hard ass and a player's coach. Mike was also kind of a pushover. And
By the way, Fran, I don't know if you
yeah,
caught this, but on the broadcast, the Colts Steelers game, they mentioned that Shane Steichen is really close with North Turner, and he's always talking to
I
him for
did.
guidance. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no. And again, North Turner was a phenomenal OC. He just wasn't a good head coach. It failed for him numerous times. He's a great offensive mind. He did a lot of great things, but just when it came to being a head coach, some guys are destined to be assistant coaches. Some guys are
Yeah.
destined to be like that. Not everybody becomes a head coach, and it's one of those things where I don't know. I just don't know. And that's that's the thing, is that the Chargers could take this numerous ways. I just don't know what route they're gonna go.
Especially GM is tricky, man. They had the same dude for 11 years, like, and then saying like they're gonna reinvent themselves, have a different imagination. Like, which way could that be? You know, like what are you looking for? Something from like the Shanahan system, maybe
exactly.
more of the Rams, maybe more of Baltimore. Who knows?
Well, and I just don't
Eagles.
see them. I just don't see them. I don't see them going like JoJo Wooden. There's no way you can, like, if you rejected the Tom Telesco, like you said, that's it, 11 years too much. Like JoJo Wooden to me wouldn't get like the general manager, because that's basically Tom Telesco's right hand man
Yeah.
sliding
It has
right
to
in
be
there.
different, yeah.
So yeah, it has to be something different.
It'd be nice if he gets
Um,
a chance somewhere else. So
Yeah, but I mean, so obviously, they had Bobby Beathard as their GM back in the late '90s, or during the '90s, and they had Buddy Nix as their general manager. Those guys were able to put together like basically they were able to put together a great team, and that's the team that you saw in the early to middle 2000s that just dominated the not dominated, but like they were a good team, and that's kind of what you need. You need guys that are going to come in, guys that are going to change they're going to change the dynamic of this team, and that's going to be interesting to see if what the Chargers decide to do with this head coaching search and general
Yeah.
manager. But
You,
I'm
you
sure
know,
they've already gotten started.
this is a good way to view it though. If they're swinging big for like a Harbaugh or Bill Belichick, like say they hire the coach first, then that tells you they hired a big name because that big name is going to pretty much control what GM comes in and say, all right, I need this person to be in line with my thinking, so I'm not taking the job unless I know or I get to pick the GM. So it could be kind of a weird dynamic because then you give the head coach a lot of the power, like, all right, GM, you do your thing, but before you're done signing off, come to me and I'll say go ahead and do it. So that's what Bill Belichick has had. I'm guessing Jim Harbaugh would probably command that. With the Raiders, Josh McDaniels kind of got that with Dave Ziegler. So, these coaches, it kind of takes a lot for you to get and pull out of their current system or a spot. You're gonna have a say with the GM. So I think if they go get a Harbaugh or a Bill Belichick or they're trying to do more coaching searches first, Fernando, I think it's gonna be a big telltale sign of like they're going a big name or not. Or sometimes some teams have to go. We need our GM first. We need a GM to come in and then start building that way, the traditional way. So if you do that, maybe it's more of a first timer coach. So maybe that could be kind of a tell sign right there.
Well, what it's also going to be telling is what happens. Like I don't see them trading for Bill Belichick. I think that like a first rounder, like the eighth pick overall,
I
like
think
that
I think
might
they're gonna
be
split ways at the end.
yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens there. But then on the flip side of that, like let's just throw out a name like Harbaugh, like what happens January 1st against Alabama if they lose to Alabama, because they're saying that like the talk keeps on coming up that he's going to be suspended for next year. So why would you want to stay at
Yeah,
Michigan and
right.
not
That's
coach for
true.
a year? So I feel
Yeah.
like that's what's going to have him coming back to the NFL. The only thing is, one, can they pay him the money? Two, is he basically going to say, "Look, get out of my way. Let me do this. I'll build this team with a general manager that he hand selects." Because like the Bears have somebody in their front office that he doesn't get along with. So I'd be surprised if he went to the Bears. I think he was like the Big Ten president or something like that, and
Oh,
he just didn't get along with Harbaugh.
yeah.
But if that has Harbaugh coming back to the NFL, all that's going to be interesting. I think it'll take 10 million a year to get Harbaugh out, at least out of Michigan. But
Did you see that story from the Athletic saying that I think it was Diana Rossini saying, "Oh, people are texting me that I want to be the one coaching Justin Herbert, and everybody's wants that job because if you have the quarterback, everything's gonna be much easier." So, yeah, maybe Harbaugh does it because of Justin Herbert. That's a big piece to have.
well, and not just that. And Young West said, "Is Herbert enough to attract a good coach?"
Oh, there he goes.
So he read your mind. Um, the thing with Harbaugh is there's so many variables, and it's all going to be on the Spanos family and what they feel like is like can they pay that money out to him and give like this is basically going to be a hey, John's going to take a step back a little bit and then we're going to let the head coach run this show. That's just not the way they've done it in the past, but who knows? I mean, maybe they change their ways, but I just don't, because I've been around for it for so long and I've seen them kind of business as usual kind of stuff. I don't know if they do it, but like I said, that January 1st game will be very telling for that. Obviously, the day after the what do they call it, Black Monday, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Bill Belichick, and then obviously, how long do you want to wait for Ben Johnson if that's one of your guys that you feel like
Yeah, like these
is
guys on a
good? Because
playoff run. Like, how long are you gonna wait?
no, and I think you're not allowed to talk to them until after the playoffs are until they're eliminated.
Yeah, or have like a
Like
week off. Remember, like a bye week or
okay,
before
yeah,
the week
that
of the
too.
Super
But
Bowl,
remember how
something like that.
before, like coaches would talk to,
Yeah.
or they would have head coaching candidates like Wednesday or Tuesday when the team was off. I don't think they do that anymore. I think what it is now you wait until they're completely out of the playoffs to talk to them. So that's gonna be interesting to see
Supposedly
how
they're
long.
trying to change the rules to make it like you can't hire anybody until February to make it fair for everybody. But that's such a long time to wait.
Yeah, especially because I mean February comes along and what happens right after the Super Bowl? It's the
Right to
combine
the
and you have to
combine.
be yeah, you have to get and then you have to start hiring scouts, getting scouts out to pro days and all that stuff. So it's just gonna be a lot. I think it'd be too much to like have somebody wait till February. I mean,
They will,
I don't
Rudy,
know.
when Bill Belichick is the head coach and McDaniel's the OC.
But yeah, I mean, and then Ben Johnson as well. The guy from McDonald, like McDonald
Yeah,
was
Mike McDonald's a good defense, man. They
yeah.
really smothered Trevor Lawrence last night, but I know he kind of messed it up on his own.
Jim or Ben are my pick. Bill's getting old. Will not change his style of coaching. Um, yeah, I mean, well, to be completely honest, Dean and Bill are only 3 years apart, and if people think that Dean's going to change his way of thinking now, then maybe Bill can change his way of coaching. So I just don't know. I just don't know if that's the thing. And we haven't spoken to them in a long time. So I don't know what their
Yeah.
mindset is, obviously. And
I think it's our friend from Ireland. Is that
I
where they're
think it
from?
is. Yeah, I think it is our friend from
Well, that's
Ireland.
actually a good point. You might get scared off. But they did have an injury in the interior defensive front, by the way, and they got ran on by the Bills. Maybe it could be something there, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that this one's interesting. A fear, yes. Anytime you ask questions, we put them up there. Unless you're taking shots at somebody that we work with or are there, we're not gonna show it. But we answer all your questions at the ear.
What's
One
up,
thing is,
Johnny G? I see your comment though.
yeah. Johnny G, what's up, dude? One thing is for sure, our draft picks have to hit. Yeah, that's the thing too. I mean, they're gonna have draft picks this year. They're gonna have to hit. I know, like I said, people are saying trade down, trade down. They don't even know who's there. That's the thing. And the funny part is, Gilbert, when people say like trade down already, kind of like you don't even know who's there yet.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
like I understand you need more picks and everything, but what if there's a game changer that ends
yeah.
up
Watching
sliding
Sam
right to you?
Laporta keep the other day makes me feel like maybe Brock Bowers might be the dude.
You know, it's funny. And I've said that about what did I tell you guys earlier in the season? Like when they had Austin Hooper as their number one tight end, I'm like, what the hell are you guys doing to the Raiders?
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like, Michael
yeah. Michael
Mayer
Mayer,
is,
dude.
and Michael Mayer in the last 3 or 4 weeks has
Well,
really come on for
that's
them.
Josh McDaniels. He wouldn't play the rookies for some reason. Then like they trade. I mean, they do the switch and Trey Tucker and Michael Mayer. They're going off.
Like I saw the frustration from Falcons fans last night on Twitter. They were
Oh,
pissed off at Arthur Smith.
dude, I memorized the stat line. Bijan Robinson like 7 carries, 11 yards. Drake London 2 catches, 24 yards. Kyle Pitts 3 catches, 37 yards. That is a terrible coach wasting prime players.
Who gets fired? Which one do you think makes it out? Because both have said that. Well, a lot of people think that neither one should be. Well, I've heard some people say that neither one of them should be fired. But who survives, Salah or Arthur Smith?
Ugh. The Falcons are that owner is very patient too, and kind of little Dean Spano vibes too. But I'll say Salah because I think Aaron Rodgers wants the same regime to stay, which might be hard to do. And then Arthur Smith just got to go, man. Like it's not his fault they couldn't get him a franchise quarterback, but your rushing attack is not even working. That was your bread and butter. So Bijan
Did you,
Robinson doing nothing.
did you see the video of Garrett Wilson like get like when he was talking to Aaron Rodgers and he just looked so pissed off? Like,
I wonder what they were saying. I want to know.
yeah, I'm like, I wish I had the audio for
Yeah,
that one.
you got people like
The
that question, by the way.
both get fired.
I kind of like Salah too, but like it's been a rough year.
Yeah, Salah as a defensive coordinator would be interesting. Brock would be cool, or trade up and get Harrison, the junior or Jr. Neighbors is
Neighbors.
another guy that I've seen
Is
that
that
people
what it
really
is?
like.
Who's
Huh?
Jr.? Is Junior? Is it Gabe Neighbors?
Harrison Jr. He's saying I think Harrison
Oh, I
Jr.
said comma Junior. Yeah, the
Yeah,
good
yeah,
grammar. I like it.
yeah. The new coach and GM will get a pass in the first year because of the mess. And oh, so Adir's asking, do you think the new head coach and the GM will get a pass in the first year because of the mess that they're going to inherit?
uh,
And that's to you, not to me.
oh, okay. I guess we're being specific. You would think, right? You can't just fire the gym after a year, or like, unless it goes like Frank Wright South, like really that bad, then maybe you could. But no, you give him one more year. But you do want to see results early. Like you want to see like the Herbert numbers to do better. And I was trying to read up on a bunch of pieces about what people thought about the Brandon Staley firing, and I think I saw a story where like, yeah, they could have had like why didn't Staley bring in more like a Kyle Shanahan scheme or McVay? Like he was with McVay. Why not bring a scheme like that? And you go get a Joe Lombardi and you're trying to do the same scheme and it really kind of hurt.
Well, he tried.
Herbert. And it was actually not a bad scheme year one, right? It was just a lot of
Yeah.
dinking and dunking, but he threw 5,000 yards. So, but yeah, that was my point for now. He did try to get a bunch of coordinators. So I think when you whiff on not getting Mike McDaniel or Kevin O'Connell and you're forced for your third or fourth option, that's where they were stuck at. But that was an inexperience of Staley not having kind of a big connection of coaches. But you want to make sure that coach brings in the right scheme right away. That was my point. Like if you're one of that scheme is clicking and vibing and doing well, then you can't fire anybody regardless of the record.
I saw somebody comment on one of my videos. I forgot when this happened. I think it's when the Chargers played the Broncos. I had a video where Drew Brees says that that Joe Lombardi has like a plethora of plays and his book is just humongous and everything and fans just started crapping on the video. They're like, "Oh yeah, Drew Brees, tell us some more about how good Lombardi is and stuff like that." And I started laughing. Like Jesus, fans are still angry at him. Think JT Woods will ever whatever miss? I don't know about JT Woods. I mean, and without Staley here anymore, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him. But illness has kind of gone around. Like all of a sudden, like Josier Taylor had an illness, other guys have had illness, and that's what they say. They just say illness. Like Jalen Hurts right now, they say is interesting. But we have drafted so many guys who don't contribute. Yeah, that's interesting. That's Young West. That's actually interesting. You say that.
NBA tall players.
They have drafted a lot of players that just don't play. I mean, or they don't play well.
Yeah. People didn't really
That's what,
like Staley talking to Steve Kerr in the offseason, huh? I've noticed that.
yeah, no, people were kind of
People are
pissed off.
not happy. Go
Well,
talk to a
especially because
football
of the way
coach.
they came out, I think, and then obviously people are pissed off at Steve Kerr because of the whole Draymond Green, Steph Curry,
Yeah.
and Stephen A. Like I don't know, they all have beef with Stephen A. right now. I don't know why. Like I just saw Stephen A. responded. And that's all I saw. But yeah, people are mad about that. But yeah, that's what Gilbert and I and Dan were talking about the other day. That this team has not drafted well. I mean, you look at their past drafts, and they're just not like one player kind of saves the draft. Like Derwin kind of saves that draft. Herbert saves his draft. Keenan saves his draft. So that's just the way this kind of has gone during the Tom Telesco era. And then there's some drafts that are unsavable 14, 15. By the way, Melvin Gordon is going to be elevated now that Mitchell, I
Oh
think, got
yeah, I
hurt.
did see that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's gonna be the next guy. Bye guys, have a great time.
Whatever,
Bye.
Rudy. You're gonna lose in the second round anyways.
Oh, am I in the Sacco?
I don't know. I haven't checked up on you. We're in the consolation
Oh.
bracket, so yeah.
Oh well, I completely forgot about fantasy
Yeah.
football.
I don't blame you. It's consolation bracket. But yeah, if
Yeah.
Alonso jumps on, he might have a problem with you. He keeps track of everybody who plays or not.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh
he's
well, that's
uh
my bad.
he's the roster police, by the way.
Oh well, there's been firing, so I apologize for that. Do you guys think? See, that's the thing. I don't know. They could have I mean, they could have restructured Keenan and not restructure, but like give new contracts to Keenan and to Khalil. But like, dude, Khalil and Keenan are getting up there. Do they want to stay and see what the new head coach is going to bring, or do they want to move on and go try and win a Super Bowl? That's going to be interesting about them. So we'll see what happens there.
He is
But
watching. There he is.
oh, he is watching. I'll say, yeah, I'll say. Wait, when? Next week or this week?
I don't know. You're not even in the playoffs. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. If I'm not in the playoffs, what does this all really mean? But Josue, back to what you were saying.
Yeah.
It's just going to depend on if guys want to come back, and then obviously what they're going to do with everybody else. But
We could
also,
probably get a draft pick for Khalil Mack, by the way. He's playing well. Just got to eat the money, though.
well, yeah, but that's the thing is that like, but what if a coach comes in and he's like, hey, you know what? I can revive this, get one final push out of him, out of everybody else, and maybe we can make a run at it. But
It's just a
that's
salary cap. That's the massive part. Like, you're going to ask him to take a pay cut? Like, how's that going to work? It's going to be tricky.
I'm telling you that one thing that Tom Telesco did, well, one of the things that Tom Telesco did well was the salary cap was always, except for this year, it was always
Maybe it was kind of like, hey, it's my last year, so YOLO. Let's mess it up.
all in and everything. Yeah. They have to wait another wasted year for Herbert while we're at it. Yeah. No, that's completely
Gotta make it work. Yeah, and then
yeah.
I know somebody, yeah, who was it? They asked me the question about, winning in their first year. They could do it, man. The Colts and the Texans, they're all competing year one with rookie coaches. So yeah, go win year one.